Welcome to the Real Estate 401k Show. Here are your hosts, Ryan Gertis, Mike Weinstein, and Justin Frederick, helping you build a legacy of wealth through real estate. Powered by the Recon Group at West USA and the Frederick team with Fairway Mortgage. NMLS number 625918.
All right, Justin, big day today. We are, first of all, dude, congrats, bro. You're viral. You went viral.
I had no idea.
You have this, I don't even know, what do we call it on TikTok? Reel? It's a reel.
Yeah.
And we posted this reel. You were just a little 30-second snippet on how business owners get qualified. And last time I checked, we were like at 220,000 views of this thing. And
I actually checked it out today. 291,000.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Dang! And it was nothing creative. It was just a
simple stuff.
simple.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, excited today because we're gonna talk about how do you build new credit when you are a first-time buyer. Maybe you're in college, whatever the case is. How do you begin to establish credit? And you guys are going to want to write this down because we're going to have you text the word new to 623-AZ-RECON. That's new to 623-AZ-RECON because you're going to want to get in touch with Justin. Whether you yourself have never bought a home, you don't have any established credit, maybe you have a child in college. And so speaking of college, we have our summer marketing intern with us today. Her name is Ashlyn. She is last year, I think she was a freshman. Next year, she's going to be a senior. She just went straight from freshman to seniorship.
Jeez.
I know. So not the type of girls we dated.
I know.
So Ashlyn, welcome. And so you are, again, a student at Grand Canyon University. And when you started your summer internship with us about 3 or 4 weeks ago, you literally knew nothing about real estate. What has changed? What has piqued your interest, and why are you hanging out with these us bozos?
Thanks, Mike, for having me on. So much has changed. So when I came in, I remember going to open houses with my mom when we were looking for a new house, but my knowledge of real estate was little to nothing. And one day I wanted to own a home, and then Mike came into one of my classes. And
yes, Justin, they allow me into the college campuses
I can't
to speak in front of
you
classes.
pull in the parking lot.
And he talked about investing in real estate. And I was at the time actually looking into like buying stocks. And then he comes in and talks about investing in real estate. And I was like, where has this been? Like, I want a part of this. And so then started my internship and knew nothing. And in these last 3 weeks, these guys are like real estate ninjas.
You're trying to now talk your sister and your parents into investing in real estate.
Oh, yeah. That's just the start.
When are you getting your license?
Oh, my goodness. We were talking about this summer.
I threw down a deal. I threw down a deal on the table for her. A deal that I have never made any other person that's ever worked in our organization.
Wow.
I didn't realize how special I was.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So we were having a conversation. Again, you're new to the concept of owning a home, and you have never, obviously, you've never been pre-qualified for a home. You are still in school. You don't have a full-time job and so forth. So the discussion was start now getting prepared. So when that job comes along, you have established credit. So Justin, what piece of advice do you not only have to our listeners and our viewers, but to Ashlyn, who a freshman in college, and where do you begin?
Where do you start?
Because this is the misconception. If I don't have any credit, it means I don't have bad credit. But you have to have credit.
You have to have credit. So one of the things that we started off talking with Ashlyn about was you need to start off with credit cards. Now, a lot of people think that you go get a department store card because that's, kids like to shop. They're like, that's where I'll start. I'll buy
I used to have a
clothes.
Macy's card, a Sears card.
Mm-hmm.
I had them all.
Yeah. In fact, you want to stay away from those types of cards. not so much that it doesn't help you, but high interest rates and it's not as helpful as like a Visa or a MasterCard. So typically you're going to have to start off with a secured credit card.
What is a secured credit card?
So basically you're putting money towards your credit limit. So let's say you put $300 on, you bring to the bank $300, you put it on this credit card, and you have $300 to spend. But you need to show how disciplined you are with the $300. So you're going to want to use that money, but you're going to want to use just a small portion of that money. Don't exceed 30% of the max that you've put in there. And then just continue to pay it back. And it's going to take a little while to build that credit. So typically you want to start off with that for about 6 months. And then you're going to want to apply for a standard Visa or MasterCard. Typically, like your newer credit companies are going to be Capital One. That's one that we tend to see a lot of people get approved for. Now, what I would suggest, if you have the means to do it, is become an authorized user with a family member that has a card that's been in good standing for a long period of time, that they don't use much of the balance. Let's say that your mother has a $10,000 credit card limit, and she just uses it to pay for groceries, and then she pays it off. Well, that card's going to have tons of available credit, and maybe she's had it for 20 years. And when you become an authorized user, you're basically stealing that credit history as an authorized user. So that's going to help your credit scores. That will also help you get approved for other things too. So I would definitely highly suggest that as well. And it's very easy for an individual to become an authorized user. And what I do with...
It's almost like co-signing.
Yeah. But it's not, because you can sign somebody up as an authorized user and cut up the card. So you're not giving them access to those funds, but you're just giving them a jump start on credit, if that makes sense.
So what have you been doing, Ashlyn?
So I have a student card that I got through my bank, and I've been trying to buy everything on it. And something that came up when we were talking was I just pay it off all, like, right away.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I make the purchase, I go back and make that transfer. But something you said that totally surprised me was maybe I shouldn't pay it all the way off.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, you want to just hold a small balance. Like I tell people to pay it down to $1 rather than pay it all the way off.
Yeah, because I want to be clear. We're not telling you to keep a 30% balance.
No,
and
we don't want
be
that.
paying interest, but never. What you're saying, Justin, is just never go down to zero, even if it's $1.
Yeah, because when we run the simulators, what we find a lot of times is if people pay their card all the way off, it actually can have a negative impact on their score. So we like to hold a $1 balance. What we do find is maximizing your credit score would be keeping your balances below 10% of the allotted amount of money. So that's what we like to see. Obviously sometimes that you'll go above it because on $300, $30, there's not much you can buy for $30, right? Can't even get a full tank of gas for $30. So you're going to go above it, but pay it down as soon as you can.
Yeah, but Burger King has like the mix and match special for $7. So yeah, I can buy stuff for under $30, pal.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
So with that being said, if, for someone in Ashlyn's shoes, how important is it for her to be using the card every single month? Because does it hurt us to get a credit card and then never use it, and it just sits there with it just collecting dust?
Yeah, if it sits there and you're not using it, it's inactive. A lot of times when we'll run simulators, we need people to use their card because it does apply positive impact to their credit score. So we do want to see that account activity. So on those two credit cards, what a lot of people do, you just have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined. You can't miss a payment. If you miss a payment and you get a 30-day late, it's such a negative impact, especially when you're trying to create good credit, right? So just make sure you're disciplined. Don't miss payments. I would highly suggest setting yourself up on automatic payments just for the minimum payments due, just in case you miss it, keep those cards active. That's a good point, Mike.
All right. So, Ashlyn, what else are you doing? What questions do you have for the lender wizard over there. And again, we want to encourage everybody. If you have questions about establishing credit, and maybe your mom and dad, or maybe your grandma and grandpa listening, and if you're a grandma and grandpa listening to a podcast, more power to you.
Yeah.
We encourage you to text the word new to 623-AZ-RECON. That's the word new to 623-AZ-RECON.
Yeah, so when we're talking about like opening 2 different credit cards, how do I know which one to use? Like, in what scenario would I just look and randomly pick one, or how do I be smart about that?
That's a great question. So what I like to do is I like to collect points on my credit cards, because a lot of these companies will give you points for using their cards, and you don't have to carry a balance on it to obtain those points. So what my family does is we use those points to pay for birthdays and Christmas gifts, and they have all kinds of cool little things that you can do, gift cards and things like that. But there's all kinds of options with credit cards, and they're trying to get you to use their cards. So take advantage of those.
But what they're really trying to get you to use the cards, get a balance, and make the minimum
Correct.
payment, because they make money off
Tons
the
of money
interest.
on it. But be strategic with the types of cards that you're getting and how you're using it. So with my family, a lot of times, and it depends on the month, because it depends on what credit cards we have too. So sometimes it will be like Costco, you get 1% back. So we're trying to buy most things from Costco at that point, grocery stores, gas stations. So what we like to do though is if they're not running any specials on anything like 5% for these certain places, but we like to use one card for groceries, one card for gas. And it doesn't matter. We're using those cards for gas and groceries. And the reason why is we're trying to, 1, keep our card active, and then 2, we're trying to gain points on those.
And what people don't understand is it's, in essence, it's tax-free income. So I've got a Amazon Chase account, a card. And so the amount of crap that I put on this card, but I pay everything off the next day or 2 days later. And so I accumulate all of these Amazon points. Well, I don't get taxed on that. The IRS doesn't look at my Amazon points that I get. And then so I buy stuff for the household. I buy, whatever the things that I want or I need, and so forth. It's just a great plan. So I think you just but Ashland's got to use both though.
Yeah.
How fast should I expect my score to go up if I'm being diligent about all these things?
Yeah, and that's hard, because I don't know exactly where you're at right now, because I know you've had this student card for a little bit.
I think her FICO's 235.
235. All right. Well, we got
not quite.
As long as there's no derogatory on it. If you're starting from 0, I mean, typically you're going to start seeing some good scores about 12 months into it. But typically you want to 24 months 2 years. You're really going to start seeing some real positive information or impacts on your scores. Yeah.
So you are obviously, as we mentioned, Ashlyn, a freshman GCU student who's going to be a senior next year. I can't wrap my head around it, because that was never me. I don't even know how that happens. I was lucky to just get done in 8 years. But anyway, so so with this being said, I know you had a very
doctors.
short. That's right. A very short time of being exposed to the whole real estate thing. How is real estate going to play a role in your life? Like, what are you now trying to accomplish in real estate? And then knowing that, you haven't taken you are taking your first step by establishing credit. That's always the first step, but you're still in college.
Yeah. I think my mindset before coming into all of this was that, you rent a house or you rent a room, and then,
That's
down
that
the
four-letter
line.
R word.
Yeah. And then maybe in the future you'll buy a home, maybe like once you have a family. And now I don't see it like that. Now I see it as if I'm getting out of college and I'm starting renting, I'm spending more money. And that money is just going bye-bye. And so now I have the mindset of, okay, how can I take that money that I was going to rent and buy a house so all my friends can be there and rent with me? And I'm starting to build this equity in these assets. So I'm really interested in the economics and starting to invest in houses, and I'm excited for all of that.
Well, I think I could speak for you. We're pretty damn excited about where you're going with this. I mean,
if you can jump ahead that far in college and you understand,
what were
these
you
little
doing
pieces,
at 18, 19 years old, right,
I was
bro?
at the bar.
Yeah, well, with the fake ID, right?
Yeah. Oh man.
All right, well, folks, it is why when you are talking about any kind of mortgages, obtaining any kind of lending for homes, having somebody that not only can get the loan done, but strategize with you and really put together the plan and ask the right questions. Well, that is Justin with the Frederick team at Fairway Independent Mortgage. We'd love to put you in touch with him. All you got to do is text the word NEW to 623-AZ-RECON. That's the word NEW to 623-AZ-RECON.
Thank you for joining us on the Real Estate 401k Show. If you want more information on how to build wealth, click on the link or text us at 623-297-3266. That's 623-AZ-RECON.